All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's 30-minute webinar on Sport Prevention Plus Wellness, new 2020 programs. My name is Dr. Chudley Wirch, and I'm the founder and president at Prevention Plus Wellness, LLC, located here in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. And as I look out my window today, it is a gorgeous sunny day, and I hope it's nice where you're at. I hope you're all well and safe. And thank you for joining us. We've got a large number of people that had registered at the last minute, which is always awesome. And I'm sure we have people from throughout the country and even abroad. So thank you for joining us for this very brief overview. This will last about 30 minutes. I'll try to cut it shorter than that so we have some time for Q&A. But if we run a little late, I'm happy to stay as long as you are willing to stay to ask questions so we have some interaction after today. For all of you who have registered, I will send a follow-up email today. You will expect it today, so if you don't get it, check your spam folders. I'll send everyone who's registered a link to this session that is being recorded right now so that you can share that with others in your region and state. And I will also include a link to the PDF slides, at least these initial slides I'll be sharing with you, and a certificate for a half an hour, 30 minutes of CEU. You just type your name in the document, download a copy for your records. All right, well, thank you again for joining us. It's always a pleasure and honor to interact with those of you who are really making a difference in the lives of youth and families and young adults throughout the country and abroad. I hope you're doing well. And as we are making this very quick transition to online implementation, I want to just give you a reminder. Tomorrow we have, I think, our fourth presentation of Prevention Plus Wellness programs, online strategies training. It's a 1-hour session. It's free training. And how you could provide Prevention Plus Wellness programs directly online to your youth or young adults. That's tomorrow at this time, and you can learn more about that on our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and look under the heading of the news or the blogs, and you'll be able to see the announcement. All right, so let's jump right into it because we've got quite a few things to share with you. So three webinar objectives for today. The first is to explore the improved contents in the single session, evidence-based sport prevention plus wellness, or PPW program manuals. We have a high school, middle school, and elementary school version. Secondly, review the updated PowerPoint slides, which were designed to build in more interactive presentation, whether you're presenting this face-to-face or online. And then thirdly, to identify the new reproducible materials that come with your program digital download. So the Prevention Plus Wellness programs, all of them, including sport PPW, come with a physical manual with the scripts for providing your programs to youth one-on-one or in a group, in person or online, and as well as a digital download of the PowerPoint slides and all your reproducible materials so you can implement your programs to countless youth or young adults. No purchase beyond your initial purchasing of the program. So just to introduce those of you who are unfamiliar with the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program, Sport PPW is evidence-based. It's been proven to prevent alcohol, tobacco, and cannabis use and increase physical activity among non-using and substance-using youth. All versions of sport, high school, middle school, elementary school, target physical activity in sports, healthy nutrition, sleep, and to a certain extent or lesser extent, stress control. These sport PPW programs are a single session. They take less than 50 minutes, and that depends on how you implement them, how much time you want to spend with them, but they are a single session, and so you can provide them to all youth in your community. You can have a full public health effect and reach all your youth with these essential evidence-based prevention messages, which are now needed more than ever with youth not being disruptive, everybody's life being disruptive. So critical that you get these prevention messages out to young people, and the sport is a very, very cost-effective and efficient way to get a full public health effect as compared to multi-session prevention programs. Sport PPW is a screening and brief intervention. It's implemented with PowerPoint slides. It has in the manual scripts for implementing it either individually or one-on-one, as well as in a group. It is based on marketing theory, the behavior image model, which I'll explain a little bit more in just a moment, which focuses on positive images to increase motivation for change. It also includes, all of our sport programs include parent materials, and specifically a parent letter and 4 weekly flyers that can be mailed out, handed, emailed, posted on your website. And this is just a separate additional intervention that comes with your sport program. And again, as I said, you get a manual and your reproducible program materials and PowerPoint slides in a digital download. There's a snapshot of the high school version of the Sport PPW program. These are just new off the press as of the end of last week. That's Sport PPW for high school. There's Sport Prevention Plus Wellness for middle school. And here's Sport Prevention Plus Wellness for elementary school age youth that don't have to be in school to be implementing these programs. Sport programs are being implemented in all 50 states and across the world. In any setting where there's youth, from homes to juvenile justice to boys and girls clubs to YMCAs, and on and on. And now, especially online, with an easy adaptation to provide this single session prevention plus wellness message online. Here are the new table of contents. So some of you, I'm sure, joining us, you may have no understanding or knowledge of Sport PPW. Others of you have purchased a manual and have perhaps implemented it. And so I wanted to show you this table of contents. This is the new table of contents. We have an expanded table of contents and a little bit different setup. So let me go walk you through it. So there's 8 sections to this. The first is a updated introduction to prevention plus wellness, which is very instructive, but we're really covering that content today. Second session, step-by-step directions for implementation. So you can actually take your manual, your digital download. Once you purchase those, you can implement the program right off the bat. However, we highly recommend our live 2-hour training for program implementers, because in our experience, it is essential to really understand this unique screening and brief intervention, this motivational intervention, and how to make the most of it, how to implement it with fidelity and get the greatest maximized effectiveness of its use. So we do have a 2-hour online or in person program implementer training. That's 2 hours live. Section 3, screening, survey, and goal plan contract. That's section 3. Those are 2 main key components of prevention plus wellness programs, including Sport PPW. Section 4 is the script or the protocol to provide your sport program to youth individually. That could be face-to-face or online. Section 5 is the script or the protocol to provide your program to youth in a group, face-to-face or online. And then new is section 6, remote online protocols. Remember, we do have a training tomorrow at this time, a free 1-hour training on how to provide prevention plus wellness programs online. Section 7, all the evaluation materials, both outcome as well as process measures, measures for participating youth, for the instructors, for fidelity, to call parents if you use the flyers. All of that is found in section 7. And then, as I said, we have these optional flyers that have been revised, Material throughout the manual has been revised, has been updated. We do that, I would say, every year or two based on the feedback we get from providers. So now this, you can continue to use, if you have a previous manual, you can use it forever. But we do update our manuals to make them better, improve, new, and we do that based on the feedback that we receive from those that use our program. So the flyers at this point can be customized because they're in a Word document. A little bit more about tailoring and customization in just a moment. All Prevention Plus Wellness programs, including Sport PBW, are implemented in 3 steps as a screening and brief intervention. Step 1, screening participants, youth, for their current health habits using screening survey. This increases awareness of the young persons and where they're at with regard to a range of their healthy habits, not just substance use, but also physical activity, nutrition, sleep, so forth. Step 2, providing feedback on those health behaviors, and especially providing positive messages using a script and your PowerPoint slides. And this is really designed to increase motivation. It's designed to cue or trigger desired images of young people in the future of themselves being more fit and active, healthy, engage in these wellness behaviors. That increases motivation for change. And then step 3 actually capitalizes on that increased motivation by assisting participants to set and monitor goals, not just to avoid substance use, but also to increase protective wellness behaviors. Those are the 3 steps. All sport and all Prevention Plus Wellness programs are based on the behavior image model. That's a conceptual framework. It's a marketing related theoretical roadmap for developing brief interventions that integrate wellness, increasing wellness, with preventing substance use. There's 2 main components to the behavior image model, or BIM. One component is using positive images to increase motivation for change, as I mentioned earlier. And then secondly is to use multiple behavior goal setting to increase self-regulation skills or self-control. One of the great things about Prevention Plus Wellness programs, including Sport PPW, is that we do allow adaptation to particular settings and populations. It can be easily done using your PowerPoint slides. We've discussed this in the training that we provide. You can also make some changes to the content, and then you can also co-brand your program. And the easiest way to do that is with the slides or the PowerPoint, either the PowerPoint slides or the apparent letters. So you can co-brand, you can put your name, your logo, your colors. You could change out some of the images so that they better represent your target population. We discuss all of this during our 2 hours live training. New to sport and all Prevention Plus Wellness programs are these remote online program tools. In the left-hand side, we have at the online Prevention Plus Wellness goal contract. So we have a goal contract in the program itself, but we also have one online. So if you're implementing your Sport PPW program online, we could send you this link and you could use it to have your youth go to this site and complete the goal plan online. And we could send you a customized link to this goal plan, you as a professional or your organization, so that you can monitor the goals that are being set by the youth that you are presenting your Sport PPW program to. So it's a great way to monitor how your participants are doing with regard to setting goals. What substances are they avoiding? What wellness behaviors are they increasing, and so forth. And then on the right-hand side, we also have our online youth substance use prevention program pre-post testing, post-test surveys. Now we have in our program materials scannable forms that you can have youth complete. But now at the moment, with so many people providing their Prevention Plus Wellness programs online, it makes much more sense and is much more practical to send youth before and after the lesson the link to the pre and post test. So you can collect pre-post tests and goal setting, and we could send you customized links to those tools so that you can monitor program fidelity and effectiveness very easily using these online tools. So there's an advantage actually to providing PPW programs online. We have a number of trainings that I've alluded to tomorrow. As I've said, we've got the Prevention Plus Wellness Program online strategies training, 1 hour free session. You could find out more on our website, preventionpluswellness.com. Go to the news section and you'll see a drop down and you'll see one of those news items about that. We also provide 2 hour live online program implementer training for all of our programs. And we also have an online and on-site train the trainer program. So we have a number of training options which can be done not just on site, but also online. Here's some more information. I'll be sending you these slides in a PDF, so you're welcome to click on these links to learn more, or you can just go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, point your cursor at programs, and then you'll see the Sport PPW program, and you can click on that. Also under programs, you'll see a request a program sample. If you want a redacted sample of any of our Sport Prevention Plus Wellness programs, the high school, middle school, elementary school version, just let us know what you want. We'll send you an electronic redacted sample for your review. There's our website, preventionpluswellness.com. Please do take a look at it. If you go and enter your email address, you'll be receiving the latest news and announcements and free webinars that we provide. You can contact us right here at using this information telephone number. It feels like it's Monday today. The phone number here in Jacksonville, Florida, 904-472-5022. Or you can send us an email at info@preventionpluswellness.com, or just go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and then you could reach us from that website. Let me show you the slides, the new updated slides to the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program. I'm hoping that these are visible at this point. Let me just double check. There we go. Again, the system's a little slow today. It could be that there's probably 5 million people on Zoom right now. Zooming, we're all Zooming at this point. So here are here's a sample of the new slides, the high school version, as you can see. But I wanted to show you that, the slides have been made easier. They integrate with the new manual. And so again, we've tried to make things as easy and clear as possible to provide this single session Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program. So you can have use complete the health and fitness screen. Again, this could be in person or online. And in fact, we show the questions to the screening survey, and then that initial screening survey question is repeated, and then the feedback is provided. Notice the slides, notice the images, which can be replaced if you have others that are more representative of youth. There's, again, repeating of the screening survey questions, and now we've built in some discussion questions. So this is really important, I think, when you present online, so there's a little bit more interaction, and you can get that interaction depending on your platform, whether you're using Zoom or GoToMeeting or Google Classroom, or as my wife is a special ed teacher at our county here in Duval, Florida, they're using a Microsoft platform. So whatever the platform, you can get that feedback from youth either verbally, if you have that option, if that's desirable, or through live chat, or both. So, but we have it nonetheless built in to our slides now. So you've got, again, these discussion questions, so you can pause and get a little interaction. So there's more interaction while you present your content. And there's some of those discussion questions. So, and then also at the end of the slides now, we've taken a key component of our goal plan right here, these recommendations for increasing wellness, and we made a slide out of those, which is very important. Want to recommend all of those healthy behaviors, nutrition, sleep, exercise, as well as, don't forget, avoiding substances, alcohol, tobacco, e-cigarettes, etc. And then complete a goal plan contract. So you've got one of those within your program materials, but also we've got slides walking. If you want to use this as an option, you can walk you through the online version. And then at the end of showing these slides, you can walk the youth through completing this online goal plan on a blank sheet of paper as you walk them through this online, and then give them the link to go to the online goal plan and complete it online for your records as well as theirs, and they can also make a copy of that. So this is built into the slides, this online goal setting, including the congratulatory statement. So that's this, just to give you a little feel for the new slides that we have. And then let me pull up the document, the PDF, which comes with your digital download. Let me just show you that. So just to show you what's new in here. So you've got your screening survey, which is, remember, all prevention plus wellness programs, including sport, have that screening survey. There's a pre-test. Notice the pre-test is scannable form, but it's also online so that you can present it and collect it even easier. There's a hard copy of the goal plan, but we also have the goal plan online. So again, you can present relatively easily the single session sport PPW program online. And then there's a post-test. Again, there's the version that's scannable. And if you present this face-to-face, if not, you can use the online version of the post-test. There's also an instructor survey, which each instructor can complete self-assessment of the process, how well they implemented the program. Here's a fidelity checklist for those of you interested in implementation with fidelity, depending on your demands of your organization or your funding agency. There's even a protocol to call parents if you use the optional parent letter and four flyers, which I'll show you in a minute. And then new also are these protocols for providing, step-by-step protocols for providing your sport PPW program online. Here's if you present it to one youth, and I think it's going to be more likely that most of you will be presenting it online to more than one youth, whether it be a small group or a classroom or what have you. Here are the step-by-step directions for that, and also even a couple of steps if you want to use a video version. And here finally is the letter to parents. This could be altered, could be tailored, co-branded. Put your name, your organization's logo on that, and then 4 weekly flyers. And the idea with this extra intervention, the flyers, the parent materials, is to get the parents to reinforce what you've presented to the kids at home, to get the parents to use this same positive image content. There it is right there. Sports and physical activities are a good way to get regular exercise, but alcohol use and an active lifestyle do not mix. So again, these messages to parents suggested communications between the parent or the guardian and the youth are very similar, and repeat and reinforce what you present to the youth when you provide your prevention plus wellness program. All right, I'm going to stop at this point. We've got about 6-7 minutes for Q&A. That was a quick overview. Now, the only difference between the high school version, the middle school version, elementary school version, obviously the level of content, the reading level, as well as the images. Obviously, the elementary school version has pictures of these sweet little kids, younger kids. High school version, high school kids. So that's a key difference. Same screening, feedback, goal setting. There are some differences with regard to some of the content, but more similarities than differences, just developmental differences. So if you have high school kids, use the high school version, middle school, use the middle school version, elementary school version. And that's it. So let me see if you have questions, comments. Find your live chat right here on Zoom. And and then type in what you would like to ask me or any comments that you'd like. And I'm going to see, and I'm going to give you some time to do this. It takes a little time for this to work. If you use Zoom to present your Prevention Plus Wellness program, you've got the challenge of understanding and following the script of the Sport PPW program, and then now the understanding the technology of using your online platform, again, whether it's Zoom or Google or GoToMeeting or what have you. It's happening throughout the world. You're probably already well into it. And use, again, my wife as an example, special ed teacher here in Jacksonville. They went to online teaching, I'd say about 4 weeks ago. And at first she struggled with it, not familiar with the platform. Again, they're using a Microsoft platform, but now much more comfortable with it and really sees the worth and the importance of staying connected to her youth. In her case, as a special ed teacher, those special needs kids. But nonetheless, all kids, all young people need to have that communication, that prevention message. So God bless you for what you do, for reaching out to them. And to the extent that you can, and provide this evidence-based sport prevention plus wellness program, or whatever prevention communications you're providing, online is the way to be doing that now and in the foreseeable future. And we'll see what happens with that. But you have the flexibility with sport and all PPW programs to provide it face-to-face or with a little bit of extra learning and practice online. And so definitely you want to practice presenting your sport PPW program on the platform that you're going to present it. So start slow. And again, we go through this in a little bit more detail, obviously, in our 2-hour live training. And we provide more content on this with a free 1-hour training, as I said, tomorrow. All right, let me see if there's any questions anybody has asked or any comments that they wanted to make. Let's see, good morning, Arkansas, welcome Arkansas. Let's see, so far we administer the screening, then we show the slide, and finally we set goals. Is that correct? Yes, that's a 3-step process. It's meant to be done in one setting. That's the key, like any screening brief intervention. So you screen youth for their current health habits, you provide feedback on those health habits, and the model that we use, the conceptual model, is we use those positive images and image terms like fit, active, successful, which cue a non-conscious desired image of themselves that increases motivation for change. And then the third step is increasing self-regulation by goal setting and monitoring those goals. And again, this could be presented within one setting with the adapted protocols that we provide, the new PowerPoint slides, and you got your manual. And so yes, that is the process. So that's a good question, and let me know if I answered that for you. Let's see, the next question is, what is or are the recommended grade levels for elementary? That's a good question. That is really a decision that you can make. I'm happy to send you a redacted sample. You can take a look at it. We've had 5th grade, 4th grade for sure, but it really depends on how you present it. And, you know, so when you do present it to elementary kids and you're, let's say, for example, you're using the screening survey and the goal plan, you really need to read everything for them and give them time to, you know, to understand it and complete it. So that's the key thing. It's the issue of you know, their understanding and reading level. But I think because of the messages are so positive, because they are focused on getting those behaviors that are essential to their whole health, being active, being fit, eating breakfast, eating healthy foods like fruits and vegetables, getting plenty of sleep, and in addition, avoiding substances, that can harm those behaviors and outcomes and images. Really, really important for all age groups, from children all the way through, I would say, at least young adulthood, if not throughout our lifestyle. Really a good opportunity, giving young people on an annual basis this prevention plus wellness, what we consider an inoculation, like a flu shot, eventually, hopefully, our coronavirus vaccine, which will give us protection for a year. That's what we think the Sport PBW program is, a protection for 6 to 12 months, and addresses all of those common health risks that young people experience, not just substance use, but also physical inactivity, a lack of nutrition, inadequate sleep, and not controlling their stress. All of those things are addressed in your single session Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program. Let me know if I answered that question for you, if I didn't answer it. The pre-test is administered with the screening, and the post-test is done with the goal plan. So normally, if you were presenting this, and of course, we're not in normal times, but normally or typically what has happened in the past is if you present the Sport PBW program face-to-face, what you would do is you would have the youth complete the pre-test, then you give them the survey, the feedback, the goal setting, and then the post-test. It would all be done in that one setting. Now, if you're presenting this online, you have some flexibility with that because if you're using the links to the screening survey, if you're using the links to the pre-post test, what you could do is you could send the link to youth with the pre-test the day before the lesson, and then the day of the lesson, they'll get the screening survey, goal plan, and then the next day after, you could send them the link to the post-test. So you have some flexibility. You don't, you're going to send them a link and give them a chance to complete the pre-test and the post-test. And so that could be done a day before, a week before the pre-test the post-test could be a day after, a week after. It's just a matter of sending them the link and tracking them and reminding them to complete the pre and post test, as well as the online goal plan. So a little bit different, not really challenging. And in fact, you don't have to, it's really a great thing, I think, and a strength of the online platform, because you can collect a pre-test and a post-test and goal plan data relatively easy. All the work is done by the youth following your link. It could be a customized link that we can give you, and then you could just track how everybody's doing as a group. You don't have individual youth data, so it's just how are your students responding on the pre-test? How are they responding on the post-test? How did they complete their goal plan for the youth that you presented and provided the links to? So let me know if you still have any questions about that. Thank you for that question. Let's see, pre-test administered screening. And I hope your daughter is doing better. Thank you very much. My daughter had the coronavirus, but she went into the hospital. She didn't have to, thank God, go into an ICU. So she was very sick and very scary, had breathing problems, but she has recovered. And so everything is good. So whether she has any antibodies that protected, we'll all learn that as we continue to follow the science and learn more about this novel virus. So it looks like a lot of material for one session. Actually, again, it depends. The actual protocol for feedback is only about 12, 15 minutes, really. So quite brief. Now we built in the interaction because that's what providers wanted. So we have those slides. So you stop and get some discussion. The screening survey is only 5 to 7 questions, very brief, takes only a couple of minutes. And the goal plan, well, that depends on how much time you want to spend with the goal plan, if you want to have interaction with the goal plan. So it can be quite brief, or it could be longer if you want. But you raise a very good question, because you're going to need to practice it and see how it goes and see how much interaction you build in to that session. But you do want to have the screening, feedback, goal setting all be done in one session, because that's how it was developed, that's how it was evaluated. If you separate out those items, those components, screening, feedback, goal setting, we don't know what kind of an impact that could have on the potential effectiveness of the program. But that said, you know, if you needed to separate out some of these things, or you wouldn't be able to provide the program, then obviously I think it's better to provide a program, you know, in a altered, modified way than not to provide the prevention program. And if you have questions, and this is why the training becomes important, when we provide our training, it can be quite tailored, and we can discuss these issues that you're thinking about and that you need feedback on during that 2-hour live training session. Remember, we're always available for you. You can go to preventionpluswellness.com, shoot me an email at info@preventionpluswellness.com anytime, and for as long as you use your program. You have questions, you have concerns, you have issues, you want to, you know, have a discussion, bounce some ideas off us, always available as long as you're using your program. So keep that in mind. If I don't have a place to play the slides, can I just follow the script? So that's a good question. So obviously, if you present online and use a platform, then you can show your slides, you can show the content, you can show, you know, the screening survey items and the goal plan items. If you're presenting this, let's say over a telephone, then it becomes an auditory process and you don't have the visuals. So that is less desirable, but nonetheless, again, you're providing required and needed prevention messages. So you can think creatively about this. So is it possible for you to send your youth the screening survey questions, the screening survey, and the goal plan in advance? And then when you present it over the phone, they could follow their screening survey and their goal plan. If not, then it just becomes them listening. And so that's fine. But, you know, as an educator, you know that many learners are visual, and so it ends up being more difficult for them. So experiment with it, see what works. If you build in some kind of an evaluation feedback, whether you then send them a link and they're able to still go online and provide you with a pre-post test and maybe an online goal plan, do what you can during these extraordinary times, and collect as much information and feedback from your youth as possible so that you can assess how things are going. And remember, you could always reach out to us for feedback. So that's a great question. We're challenged to get 50 minutes with a class. Okay, so if 50 minutes, you can't get 50 minutes, then again, you could try, and I am sure that you could present your lesson under 50 minutes. Because again, we have people implement the Sport PBW program in 30 minutes. So you can adapt and cut out the interaction and have this be presented, screening feedback very quickly and goal setting, walk them through it and have them go online and complete it. And you could definitely get this done in 30 minutes. So it's a matter of practicing and seeing how you want to present the content and how much interaction you want to have when you present it. We added more interaction because the desire for interaction, but then again, you've got sort of the two-edged sword. The more interaction, the more time. You only have a certain amount of time. So these are things that you will decide once you practice your program. But let us know what you learn, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and we'll share that with other providers throughout the country. So do stay in touch with us, and always feel free to reach out to me if you want to discuss any of these things. The majority of my students live in rural areas. Yes, I understand that. They have limited service. Lots do not have internet. I do all my student contact by phone. What's your suggestion is to present it over the phone, or how about mail? So yes, you have two options. You can present it over the phone, as I said, and then it becomes an auditory learning experience for them. It's limited to the auditory. If you could send them in advance a copy of the screening survey and goal plan, then, and if they have that with them and a pen or pencil, they could follow along, and it becomes more interactive, and they have something to see and do while you talk to them individually over the phone. The other option is we do have some of our programs, in particular sport and InShape, in a booklet format. So that's another option. You can send them the booklet, and then they just complete the booklet. You can have them fill out the booklet, including the goal plan, and maybe send it back to you. That's another option. Let me just step back and say that also, if you present it over the phone, you could send them not just a screening survey and a goal plan, you could also send them a copy of the slides. So, I mean, I would make them, to save you some money. I mean, it would be nice if you made, beautiful full-size colored slide copies, but you may want this, reduce the size of them so that you have 2 or even 4 slides on a page, maybe have them be grayscale, and send those to your youth. So you can provide your Prevention Plus Wellness program by phone, and then, but if you can send the screening survey, the slides, and the goal plan in advance of your phone call, and make sure your youth has them in front of them, then that would be, I think, an improved way to present it. And I think, and then of course, again, you could use that, or you can use a booklet format as well. So those are some options to think about, and let me know what you think about those. Thank you, great presentation. Thank you very much. I don't know, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's questions. I'm going to go back and check one more time. If I missed your question, send me another one, your comments. I appreciate everybody sending these great questions. And I think it's really, you're really wrestling with this, struggling with this, and I appreciate all that you're doing. And it doesn't matter how you present this, but do present your messaging. And I do understand the specific challenges for those of you working in areas, whether they be rural or urban, with limited internet access. But it can be done over the phone. It can be done by mail. And so do present your Prevention Plus Wellness programs, and do collect any data that you can to evaluate them. So one thing that you could do is you could, it's possible, although a challenge, all of these things are different challenges, but you can also send pre and post tests by mail. They can complete it, with pencil, send it back if you have that kind of correspondence going on. I understand the challenges with that, but try to get whatever feedback you can from youth, whether it's quantitative data or even qualitative data, asking them, how did this work? What do you think? Was it effective? Was it helpful? Asking for a copy of their goal plan if they can do it. Whatever you can do to collect feedback as you present your program in these different circumstances, in these different formats, whether it be online, whether it be by phone. Would love to hear from you, to learn what you're learning from your youth, and ensuring that the program is having a positive effect with your young people. I think I got everything. Let me just last check. Thank you, thank you. I think that's it. So I'm going to say, awesome. Thanks for joining us. I will follow up and send all of you again some things, a link to this recorded session, PDF of the slides, as well as your certificate for your time. Have a great afternoon. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Be healthy. And if there's anything I can do to help you at any time, reach out to us at preventionpluswellness.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.